Hello everyone, I'm Tribalkai and welcome to the EDH channel. This video is dedicated to Christian Roberts. If you'd like to support the channel as well, then you can visit Patreon and donate with the link in the description below. Failing that, a like, comment and subscribe is always appreciated. Now, let's have a look at everyone's opening hands. And we're off to a very good start in the chat. Okay, Wall of Blossoms, that'll take us closer to getting into another land, because I don't really like the vivid cycle of lands. How many? Yeah, we can only make green with this twice, so we'll be doing that next turn, and then it will be able to make green only once more. Vampiric Tutor from Gogo during the main phase. Then a very explosive turn from Kills, a Sol Ring on turn 2, and then going into a sack outlet in Altar of Dementia. Alright, that's good. There is a forest, so yeah, we can play the forest. We'll save the Vivid Creek counter, just in case we need it later on. We'll go Wall of Blossoms and draw a card here. This deck is brought to us by Christian Roberts, by the way, Mythic Patron of the channel. If you are a Mythic Patron of the channel, then you can submit a deck once a month for me to play here. So Christian said that he wanted me to play this deck, of course, and here we are. Hopefully we'll be able to do some good stuff with it. Big thank you to Christian for allowing me to play his deck and for supporting the channel, of course. Krark the Thumbless from the Rakdos player, and then a Nature's Law from Kenrith. And Kills deciding not to do anything during his turn. We get into a Harrow. Yeah, I think we just hold on to the Harrow. Don't think we need to worry about getting countered with the Harrow, really. Theatre of Horrors now. At the beginning of your upkeep, exile the top card of your library. During your turn, if an opponent lost life this turn, you can play lands and spells that have been exiled with it. And then for 4, it deals 1 damage to a target opponent or planeswalker. So it's a situational, what is it called? Phyrexian Arena. And Krark the Thumbless swings in towards Kills. Then Dawn Treader Elk for the 5 colour player. Search for a basic land, put it into play tapped for green and a sacrifice. And Kills getting into his 3rd colour with the scrub land, so see his commander here maybe. Nope, going for a Soul of the Harvest. We have one of those ourselves. So at the end of this turn we'll go for the Harrow, sacrificing an island because we've got one of those in hand already. Okay, a desert, that's a tap land. Probably hold on to that for the cycling, although we could get it into play this turn. Although I think I want to play the Teferi's Ageless Insight, so yeah, I think it has to be the island here. If I'd known we were going to draw into a green land, I obviously would have gone for an island with the Harrow. So let's go for the card draw doubling enchantment and pass over. A bounce land exiled from the top with the Rakdos Phyrexian Arena, getting their 2nd commander into play in Vial Smasher the Fierce. Then Dawn Treader Elk getting sacrificed at the end of the turn to make what is most likely an island over here. And then a Mirari's Wake during his turn, which is an Anthem and a mana doubler. Then causing a cantrip effect, and it is Nightmare Shepherd that is doing that. Flying 4/4. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you can exile it and make a token copy of it. Then ending the turn with a Nature's Law. And then the 6/6 with Trample hits Go-Go. Okay, we get into the forest. I'm tempted to go for Soul of the Harvest, but I think we might be in board wipe territory, although we'll be relying on Kenrith to wipe the board. I wouldn't have thought the Rakdos player would do it because they just played out both their commanders. So I think we could probably get away with going Soul of the Harvest. It's noteworthy that if we get into another land next turn, we could draw a couple of cards by cycling this as well. Because we'll obviously draw twice as many cards thanks to the Ageless Insight. Another land being exiled for the Rakdos player. Still at 7 cards in hand though. Now Krark the Thumbless swings in towards Gogo, who does not have a blocker anymore, so the mounting could be played here. And then with that 5 mana, it is more ramp in Gilded Lotus, and a random player, that was Billy Kills, got hit for 5 thanks to the Vial Smasher the Fierce. Alright, that's interesting. Gogo just passing through the turn with all this mana held up. Hopefully he didn't accidentally click through his turn there. Anyway, Findhorn Elves, 4 kills. And then a Mutate going on to the Soul of the Harvest. That is Dirgebat. Destroy a target creature or planeswalker an opponent controls. They are blowing ours up, yeah. I was hoping for no spot removal, but it was mainly a board wipe I was thinking of with this. So that last turn was sort of a waste, really. And then swinging in at us. With that, it now has Flying as well as Trample. A 6/6. The 4/4 goes in at Deja Shade. A Sol Ring for us, so that means that we can go Toothy and Growing Rights of Itlimoc this turn. So we'll definitely get down the Sol Ring here. And then we'll go Growing Rights of Itlimoc, see what we draw into first. If we draw into anything, I always miss with Growing Rights of Itlimoc. Didn't this time though. Edric, Spymaster of Trest. It's just going to sit there and not do anything for now, so we probably hold on to that for the time being. So I'm going to hold on to the Desert and we'll go Toothy, Imaginary Rascal. Or Imaginary Fiend even, makes the 2 commanders up there. Yeah, if we hold on to this, like I said, we can draw 2 cards with it, so I'm thinking we're actually going to use that as opposed to playing it as a land. Don't think we have Peer in here, but we don't know what the top cards of our library are, so we'll shuffle things around anyway. We did just put a Swiftfoot Boots on the bottom, so I wouldn't mind actually shuffling the library around to try and get into that at some point. Oh, and we do have Peer in this deck, right, so I'm glad I did that now, so that is a little bit of card advantage for us. We will pass at that. This time a Strionic Resonator. Copy a triggered ability. That came off the Theatre of Horrors. Now, Traitorous Greed, and they don't have a sack outlet, unfortunately, but that goes onto the mutated creature in Soul of the Harvest. And they might get a copy of that with Krark, or it might just not resolve at all. But they do get another copy of that, so they'll get to take something else, and they take the Demon. So forcing Kills to sacrifice this in response, and he will mill himself. Mills some lands and some dorks in Arbor Elf and Satyr Wayfinder. And then sacrificing his Soul of the Harvest. I think I would have kept that personally because there's a lot of stock in that with it being mutated. You'll get it back at the end of the turn. So yeah, I think I would have kept that for the card draw, but obviously I don't know what Kills has in his hand. We don't know if the Rakdos player can sacrifice it as well. So he will get some value here at least. Grizzly Salvage. Greater Good is now in the bin. A land, another dork. A mulch, and the very powerful Luminous Broodmoth. That countered the Traitorous Greed, so he doesn't get the mana, so just hard casting a Strionic Resonator instead. And then playing Rakdos Carnarium, the bounce land out of exile. Then deciding to hold back his creatures. We'll see what Gogo has at the end of this turn. And that spell is Blue Sun Zenith. X is 11. Obviously pointed that at himself, so he'll go up to 13 cards, 14 during his draw step. And then during his main, a Mana Reflection, so each of his lands is going to tap for 4 mana, because while this only adds an additional mana, this actually doubles it, I think, so... Oh no, they're only tapping for 3. Okay, so that's obviously something to do with how you calculate the mana doubling and additional mana and all that type of thing. Each land only tapping for 3, when I thought it would be 4. Over Abundance, whenever a player taps a land for mana, add 1 mana of the land produced, or the type that the land produced, and it deals 1 damage to that player. Then an Explore to draw and play an additional land. And there is a Fractured Identity. Exile a non-land permanent. Each player other than its controller creates a token copy of it. So, getting rid of Overabundance to give us all copies of Overabundance. So we're all going to have a lot of mana to play with. Kenrith the Returned King coming into play, with only Orzhov mana held up. Then dropping a Plains, so even more Orzhov mana. And just deciding to gain some life. Going from, I think he was at 22 all the way up to 37 now. Grand Abolisher for Billy Kills, over to his turn now. And Primal Crux. An 8/8 with Trample at the moment. Then Geist Honoured Monk. Billy Kills just playing his entire hand out. 0 cards in hand now. And then sacrificing his Geist Honoured Monk. He sacrificed his big green creature as well there. I can't keep track of everything because it's going through so quickly. I'll just click through the graveyard and maybe my supreme editing skills can zoom in on the graveyard and show you all what's in there. Now casting Nethroi, Apex of Death, and mutating that onto a spirit just to give it flying. Nethroi, bringing out some creatures there. The Primal Crux comes out again, and the Geist Honoured Monk does as well, bringing in some more spirits, and there is a Hero's Bane also. Then Kill sacrificed his big green creature again, so let's try and... It would be very useful if we could pull the graveyard out into a separate window like we can in 1v1, but can't do it here unfortunately. Again, try and show you the graveyard here, because he is keeping his graveyard full. Only 35 cards left in the deck, which is noteworthy. If I didn't know any better, I would think that he had a Living Death or Rise of the Dark Realms, something like that. But he doesn't have any cards in hand. 27 left in the deck now, and still sacrificing to the Altar of Dementia. And the mill still continues, pretty much turning his entire deck upside down. Now 13 cards left in the library. Still continuing, he's probably just fishing for something out of his library. There is the flashback reanimation spell. So maybe there's some kind of combo he can go for straight out of the graveyard. Now sacrificing his Nethroi, Apex of Death, with a full graveyard. 9 cards left in the library. 4 cards left in the library after the Altar of Dementia resolves. Recasting Nethroi, Apex of Death. This is 0/0 tribal, so I'm guessing this is all Kills was looking to do, was play every single creature out of his graveyard with the Nethroi, because they are 0/0s when they're in the graveyard, and then Nethroi can just target all of them and bring them all back, and they get power and toughness once they're in play. So pointing at a load of stuff in the bin, we'll just see what enters play here. So let's see what we've got here. Got Golgari Grave Troll, Feyboro Elder, the Hero's Bane back into play again. What else? Rayhan, Last of the Abzan, Phantom Nishoba, Multani Yavamaya's Avatar, Eidolon of Countless Battles, Pelukranos the Unchained, Seki Season's Guide, Running Out of Breath, Luminous Broodmoth we already saw before, Yorvo, Birds of Paradise, and Destiny Spinner. Right. Let's see what we draw into here. It is a land for us. We get a plus counter on the Toothy. I think I want to go for Pure Imaginative Rascal here, because we can get double the number of counters on Toothy and then cycle this Desert of the Indomitable. So we'll cycle the Desert and get some plus counters on the go. And then there's Tooth and Nail. So maybe we do just go Tooth and Nail here. And we've got Diluvian Primordial with a full graveyard here, so Do I have time to flick through all this? I'll get timed out on Magic Online if I sieve through all that. Maybe I'd just take control of some stuff with Royal Elemental. Think we can do that. And then, yeah, let's just see about Diluvian Primordial. He can sacrifice anything that we try and take control of anyway. So we'll go for the Royal Elemental and the Diluvian Primordial with the Tooth and Nail. And then we've got access to Fractured Identity here. So not sure what we want to make them sacrifice there. Demonic Tutor. Crop Rotation. Winding Way. Search for a land. Yeah, not bothered about that. Assassin's Trophy. Some more removal. Don't think I'm seeing any kind of a board wipe here. Yeah, there's no board wipe in there. So we'll go Traitorous Greed, Fractured Identity. We'll just have to go for Path to Exile, I think. Like I said, they'll just sacrifice in response, but we'll force them to draw into an empty library with that at least. I'll just take the 33-33 because it has Trample. And then Fractured Identity can get rid of the Luminous Broodmoth so that they don't get anything coming back into play with flying. And then Path to Exile can go on to... I think I'd rather have that on the Krark, because like I said, Kills is just going to sacrifice stuff anyway in response. Noteworthy that he can also probably... he might be able to mill out all three of us maybe. I don't know if he has enough actually. He can probably mill out one of us though. Luminous Broodmoth getting sacrificed. Oh no, it's not. Sacrificing other things. Oh yeah, and then pointing Altar of Dementia at us, so probably milling us out here. Is that our Kozilek? Yes, we have Kozilek, Butcher of Truth in the deck, so we actually can't be milled out. So that's really good, as long as we don't draw into it at some point. All of his cards come back into play once they've been sacrificed, if they didn't have flying already, thanks to the Luminous Broodmoth, so he can effectively sacrifice them twice, a lot of them anyway. Now down to 2 cards in our deck. So he would have to mill us out for the last 2 cards and then force us to draw, which he might be able to do with the Toothy, if he can destroy that somehow. So there we go, down to 0 cards in the deck, but Kozilek's still on the stack. And we jump back up to 80 cards in our library. So that just means that we need to be really careful with the Toothy. We need to get rid of Billy Kills before we have our Toothy die. Because if Toothy's on the stack and it's about to draw us some cards, they can mill us to 0 pretty easily, assuming they don't have a bunch of flyers in play, and take us down to 0 cards. Then Toothy resolves, although Kozilek would have to be on the stack first, wouldn't it? We'd need to have Kozilek on the stack, then Toothy on the stack on top of it, so that we draw the cards before Kozilek shuffles. Yeah, that's the way we need to do it. Anyway, getting rid of Krark with the Exile. Fractured Identity does not give us all some Luminous Broodmoths because that gets sacrificed. And the mill got pointed here, I think. Or maybe it got pointed at the Rakdos player, actually. And then Traitorous Greed does not resolve either. What can we have our opponent do? We want to be taking control of things, really. Let's go for... We'll take a look at the top with Oracle of Muldiah, because that can get us, and there's the Swiftfoot Boots. Obviously everything's been shuffled around. So let's go Sakashima of 1,000 Faces, and that can go on the Royal Elemental. And then we'll play an island, and we'll start stealing some things. Force them to sacrifice their biggest stuff, so get rid of the Multani because it has Trample. That is the biggest threat on the board to us. And then we'll just take the 23-23 as well. I don't think anything else has any kind of evasion, none of the big creatures anyway. So we gain control of Yorvo, we gain control of the Multani. So I think then we have to go for... Let's go see the Unwritten here. And we'll just hope that we can get into something that will put a land on top or allow us to play a land. Okay, Tatyova is card draw. We don't want the Kozilek Butcher of Truth out of the graveyard or out of the library, so we go Tatyova and Selvala. and pray for a land on top. And we do have a land on top, that's really good. So now we start triggering stuff. I don't think we've got the biggest power in play, but we do shuffle our graveyard up again with the Kozilek. So if we had a draw trigger on the stack, that would have been Billy Kills' chance to get rid of us there. But like I said, I don't think we're going to draw a card with this Selvala. Oh, and we shuffled our library. I thought the... yeah, of course, we shuffled with the Kozilek, so I thought we were going to have a land on top, but unfortunately not. We're a mana shy of getting down Edric, so that is just going to have to be that, I'm afraid. Let's go in at Deja Shade with the Toothy. Growing Rights of Itlamok is going to flip at least, so we get a better Gaia's Cradle. Can tap down for a single green as well. So finally, getting round to the Rakdos player's turn. Arcane Signet was exiled off the top. And it is a Dark Petition. A random player is going to be dealt 5. And it looks like that is Gogo this time around, who is at the highest life total currently. Then after the tutor, recasting the Krark the Thumbless. Oh, I thought they were... yeah, they're looking in my direction. I thought when Gogo... I only ever scan over the chat, I don't really read it. Yeah, make him have 0 cards in deck. When he said that, I thought he was referring to Billy Kills, but obviously Kills and Gogo wanting to team up to get rid of me. Although it might be that the Rakdos player storms off here. A bonus round. And the bonus round resolves. Oh, only one of the bonus rounds resolved, so the original one must have been bounced, which is pretty much the exact scenario you want. Okay, so what happened there? Deja Shade cast bonus round. Oh, and then the Strionic Resonator was activated to copy the triggered ability, so I missed that. They won the flip, and they lost a flip as well. So then they got the bonus round back into hand, recast it, and then they lost the flip and returned it to hand. So now they've still got bonus round in their hand, but they have had one resolve already. Then Arcane Signet. And there we go, a Finale of Promise. So potential for getting copied with the Krark the Thumbless, but bonus round will copy it anyway. X is 10, you may cast up to 1 target instant and or sorcery from your graveyard, each with converted mana cost X or less without paying the mana cost. If the spell was cast that way and would be put into the graveyard, exile it instead. If X is 10 or more, copy each of those spells twice. You can choose new targets for the copies. I don't think they really had anything to copy there. Yeah, they've got Read the Bones, and they've gone for Dark Petition. Not sure what they can really do here. They're going to get a bunch of tutors, I know that much. So going up to 11 cards in hand, all of which have been tutored. Noteworthy that it's relevant that we took the Traitorous Greed away from them with the Diluvian Primordial. They could probably have wiped out Kills' board and taken our creatures as well and maybe taken a player out. Ah, there we go, they have a Lightning Bolt, that's really interesting. So I don't know if they're going to get enough copies of Lightning Bolt to make this relevant. Looks like they're aiming those towards Billy Kills though, which is fine with me because I think Kills and Gogo were looking to take me out, and Kills is the biggest threat here. I know Scary Simic is scary, but we've definitely not done as much as Kills has. Just been trying to deal with him really. So hoping to bounce the Lightning Bolt back to hand with Krark here. It gets copied by the Krark instead, so taking him down to 1. That does mean that Kills can't tap lands for mana at least, because we all take a lot of damage to Overabundance every time we tap lands. And so we can't tap a land for mana either. Kills... yeah, I think we had a Lightning Bolt pointed at us there. Kills will be down to 1 if he taps a land. So it looks as though it's pretty much Go-Go's to win here. Depends how much mana he wants to tap this turn. Yeah, now Go-Go completely doing a 180 and yeah, saying to get rid of Billy Kills when he was trying to team up with him a minute ago. So yeah, Go-Go just playing the political game, desperately trying to keep himself in it. I think he wants an extra turn to do some stuff here. There we are, a Red Sun Zenith. That goes on to Deja Shade. Both me and Billy Kills are out of the game here pretty much thanks to overabundance, although I can tap one land now because I'll only get a shock. Kills can tap one as well. And this just makes the politics even more funny, telling Deja Shade to kill me and Billy Kills so that then Gogo can kill off Deja Shade. Oh, deflecting SWAT, that's good. So, deflecting SWAT, that is just new targets for the Red Sun Zenith. They might not resolve it though, thanks to the Krark, although they can just cast it again for free because they control their commander. So copying the deflecting SWAT won't really do anything. But they can redirect the Red Sun Zenith. They don't have double mana. So they're going to redirect the Red Sun Zenith somewhere. And deflecting SWAT does end up in the bin there because they won the flip twice. So I suppose it does matter if you win or lose the flips on Krark. Because in certain scenarios you'll be able to get a copy and then get the original copy back into hand ready to do more stuff with. Anyway, they pointed the 9 damage at Gogo, so not taking any of us out here. And Gogo needs to be careful here because he's generating a lot of mana, but he's down to now 2 life. Kenrith gives you 5 life, so he'll be up 2 life every time he taps down a white land. Looks like this is another big X spell though. A Heliod's Intervention. Target player gains twice X life, and X is 24, so 48 up to 50 life. I dare say Shade might have forced Gogo's hand there. Another X spell in Gaze of Granite. Destroy each non-land permanent with CMC X or less. X is 8. So that will take out the overabundance at least. And I think the highest CMC over here is 8, so yeah, it should take out everything on this side of the field, all those creatures as well. Sacrificing stuff in response, starting to... Billy Kill's starting to mill out Gogo now. Yeah, so everyone looking over at us because we're scary simic, but we by far have not been the scariest player at the table this game. Kill said that Rayhan isn't working and he's not triggering, so yeah, he just got rid of the Golgari Grave Troll, which does put plus counters on itself. And he should have been able to put the Golgari plus counters onto another creature and then sacrifice that, and he'd obviously have more mill with the Altar of Dementia. So that might actually affect the outcome of this game. Although I think he's still got enough to get rid of Gogo, or at least mill his library. He'll have to force him to draw. It's noteworthy as well that Gogo isn't holding up any white mana, so he can't recast his commander, give it haste, and take one of us out. So a bunch of creatures being sacrificed over here, same as before, and successfully taking Gogo down to 0 cards in his library, 4 cards in hand. I suppose Kills might as well carry on milling the Rakdos player, or try his luck at milling us and not hitting the Kozilek, but deciding to just let all the stuff die. And we will draw some cards here as well. So refilling our hand, we get into a mana tripler. Then Primal Command... Target player shuffles their graveyard into their library. They do that to themselves. And search your library for a creature card, put it into hand. So it's not the end of Gogo just yet. Back up to 82 cards in the library. And what did he search for? Oh good, went for the ever-popular Golos Tireless Pilgrim, finding himself a Forbidden Orchard to throw spirit tokens around. And then Wildest Dreams, return X target cards from graveyard's hand and exile it. So they just went for the Primal Command there. Probably a good idea to have Primal Command in hand if Billy Kills is just going to be able to do a bunch of graveyard stuff. Don't know if he can actually recast his commander here though. If I had the time and it was a paper game and I could just have a quick flick through Gogo's graveyard there, I would have had a look through his graveyard to see his library and see if there was anything worth going for bribery with. We could have stolen one of his creatures with bribery. We might still be able to next turn, but I'm not sure if there's anything actually worth bribing there. Multani bouncing a land, and they get Multani back to their hand. They can cast the Multani, and they do cast Multani. It is a 32/32 with reach and trample, 2 cards left in hand and 3 in the deck. And Kill's still looking at us, swinging in with the Dryad Arbor. Yeah, I was thinking of if we could somehow destroy Multani with a I don't know, some kind of Shriekmaw or something like that from the Rakdos player, then would we do it? But if they're still looking to swing in at us, then we might have to. A Shaper's Sanctuary. Whenever a creature you control becomes the target of a spell or ability an opponent controls, draw a card. Don't think we need to worry about that at the moment. I think all we can really do here is try our luck. Alright, well Go-Go just shuffled his library, so let's see if we can grab anything off Go-Go. If he's got Primal Command in his deck, then it might be that he wants to search up good creatures. Okay, yeah, there's not really anything there. Clever Impersonator doesn't do much of anything. Keeper of Progenitus doesn't either. So I imagine that's probably us done. Let's just go for... I think Zertar Enchanter. Whenever a player taps a land, yeah. So maybe we can help out the Rakdos player here. I'm feeling a certain kinship with Deja Shade at the moment because they've pretty much left us alone. And Go-Go and Billy Kills have kind of been gunning for us, so just for the sake of helping out the Rakdos player, let's get that into play. And then we'll go Elvish Visionary, just to get another creature into play and draw a card. And a Mana Crypt. So the Itlamok will tap for 3 mana. Vivid Creek will be 5, 6 and 7. So let's just go Regal Force here so that we don't put too much fear in our opponents. I don't think we're going to make it through to the next turn anyway, so I don't mind going for Mana Crypt here. So we draw 3 cards from the Regal Force. That is Acidic Slime, we get a land, and See the Unwritten again. Now Vial Smasher the Fierce coming back into play for the Rakdos player. Won't be able to trigger that this turn because that is the first spell that's been cast this turn. And then it's just Krark the Thumbless again, so hopefully he can actually do something this turn. Still 4 mana available. Don't forget he just tutored for a bunch of stuff straight out of his deck. A Deadly Rollick. Casting that for free. Exile the Golos. I am very happy to see that, although I think I would have gone for the Multani over the Golos. But it got bounced back to hand anyway. Actually, did he just hard cast that? I think he had 4 mana available, and I think he just hard cast that. That is the one that you can cast for free with your commander, isn't it? Yeah, you can cast it without paying its mana cost, exile a target creature. I've just looked it up, so... yeah, they can still go for that. And potentially get copies of it to get rid of both Golos and the Multani. Alright, there we go. But the problem is Go-Go's on tap now, so can still go for Golos. Alright, and now going for it to trigger the Vial Smasher. That gets rid of Billy Kills. And it is pointed at the Golos. But getting bounced back to hand again, not that it matters. The problem is, Go-Go was allowed to untap with a Golos there because he needed to do it on Go-Go's turn in order to trigger the Vial Smasher. And now we might get taken out with the Crypt, which we were expecting to get taken out anyway, so not really worried about that. And we can still be taken out with the Deadly Frolic on our turn, thanks to Deja Shade and his Vial Smasher. Might get lucky though. Yeah, we lose the flip. Nothing we can do at instant speed, so... yeah, that's us done. Now Shade knows exactly where the Vial Smasher is going to go at least, so he might as well try and get rid of the Golos before his turn starts. And he does. He could just go for it over and over again here until it hits, if he's really scared of the Golos. If this is an X-Spells deck, I'm not sure how good Golos will be in this deck, but it might not be strictly X-Spells. Could still get mana doublers into playing things, not during his opponent's turns though. Anyway, missing another flip, so can go for it again if he wants to, but might as well just do it during his turn so that he hits him with the Vial Smasher. Alright, now it's back into Dark Petition. I'm still not sure what he tutored for previously, because he's still got a full grip, and I can't really remember what he did last turn. Anyway, landing the Dark Petition, and I think he'll get the mana from this as well, thanks to now having a full graveyard. So 6 mana from the Dark Petition. So it's 2 tutors and 6 mana made in total, and continuing to try and build up some kind of a storm seemingly. Seething Song this time. And having some better luck now, making 10 mana with the Seething Song. Surprised we haven't seen Krark's Thumb yet. Anyway, up to 14 mana with 2 untapped lands. Now it is cut for damage to a target creature, but that does not resolve, that goes back to hand. They'll need some more damage to take care of Golos as well. Not sure if they've got direct damage that they can just do straight to Go-Go. You would think so if they've got it in the deck and they've just had some tutors. Don't know if I'd worry all that much about Golos if you can take the player out. There's the bonus round again. And that resolves, making 2 bonus rounds. Going for the cut again, curiously enough. They've still got that exile creature spell. Maybe they want to save that for Gogo's turn so that they can deal 4 damage with Vial Smasher. Anyway, it resolves, so that will get rid of the Golos. They make copies automatically with the bonus round, so that's always going to resolve no matter what Krark does. They might even get the cut back to hand here. Nope, that resolves, so cut will hit the bin. It doesn't have anything to target now. And if they've got some kind of big X spell... there we go, a Mizzix's Mastery. So they'll be able to get a bunch of lightning bolts. They probably... Yeah, bonus round I don't think does anything here because it won't resolve in time with everything on the stack at the same time. So I think it's pretty much... Seething Song can make a bunch of mana. You can get black mana with Dark Petition. It's pretty much Lightning Bolt is the only thing that does anything directly out of the graveyard. Okay, it's a Read the Bones. They're going to have to be careful with Read the Bones. Are they just going to kill themselves with Read the Bones? I think they might kill themselves with Read the Bones because it's scry 2, draw 2 and lose 2. I don't see why they need to draw cards here when they've got a bunch of tutors to go for. Yeah, I think they've just offed themselves there. And I'm not seeing all this stuff on the stack either. They've got Read the Bones on the stack, but nothing else is. So, some kind of misclick? I don't really know what happened there. Oh no, going down to 5, curiously. Yeah, I don't understand there. If he's got a lot of bonus rounds, then why didn't Read the Bones just kill him by having him lose 2 life each time? Is that a May ability? No, you may choose new targets for the copies, but you still have to copy them, so... Yeah, I don't know what this game is. And that's funny. Yep, the bonus round. Whenever a player casts an instant or sorcery, they copy it and choose new targets for the copy. Or they may choose new targets for the copy, which you can't do with Sphinx's Revelation, so... I don't think they quite deck themselves here. But they will get a bunch of copies of the Sphinx's Revelation. And X is 9 on that. No, not quite. Down to 16 cards in the deck, 65 in hand, and 86. And an 86 life total, so hopefully, Go-Go can actually win it here. Alright, and there we go. Red Sun Zenith, where X is 5. Drawing back into the Red Sun Zenith, so managing to finally close out the game. Do you remember when Commander was a case of playing big cool creatures and all swinging in at each other and smashy? Those were the days, weren't they? Anyway, hopefully you all enjoyed that one. Be sure to let me know what you liked about it in the comments section. Be sure to let me know what you didn't like about it in the comments section. Big thank you to Christian Roberts for allowing me to play his deck and consistently supporting me at the Mythic tier on Patreon as well. If you want to do that, you can follow the link in the description below. I'm Tribalkai on the EDH channel. Thank you for watching.